So with FIFA 20 just around the corner, what I thought we'd do for a video today is go through every single championship club and decide who should be their top 2 highest rated players on FIFA 20. So I tried to sort of balance this video out with both my opinions and realistically what I think EA will actually give these players for ratings. Let me know down below who should be your club's highest rated player and what do you think they should be rated. I think generally EA does underrate the championship. Hopefully they'll put a bit more effort into this year. Also, I've had a few requests already to do a career mode for FIFA 20. Let me know down below if that's something you'd like to see. Also, feel free to leave any players' names in the comments down below and I'll say what rating I think they should get in FIFA 20. But without any further ado, let's get into some of these ratings. So we'll just be going through the championship in a random order. Let's jump into it. So we'll start out with North End, where I've gone for Ben Pearson and Alan Brown. Ben Pearson has to be the highest rated player, and if he's not a gold card on this year's FIFA, me and EA will be having problems. I think that he's warranted that now to get the upgrade. I think that for the past 2 or 3 seasons, he has been one of the best holding midfielders in the league. Despite his awful disciplinary record, he absolutely dominates games when he's on the pitch. And for the second highest rated player, I've gone for Alan Brown. I thought that from what he showed last season, he's deserved an upgrade as well. He's not particularly started this season off so great, but after scoring 12 goals, I think that a 74 would be fair. For Fulham, I think it's got to be Mitrovic and Tom Kearney. Mitrovic, I bumped up his rating a little bit and I've dropped Tom Kearney down by 1. I think that both being 78 would be fair, really. Tom Kearney probably is one of the best midfielders in the league, and I think a lot of people are just expecting Mitrovic to absolutely rip it up. He's already got 5 goals so far this season and is probably going to be one of the most lethal players in the league. So for a FIFA rating, I think around the 78 would be fair. With Luton Town, I've gone for Collins and Bradley. Yeah, he's always a hard one to sort of decipher how they're going to rate teams that are coming up to the championship. I think that when Preston were promoted, they seriously undervalued our squad. But for Luton Town, I think that Collins and Bradley, for me, were probably their standout players. Both being 70 rated. Collins could probably be a little bit higher, but I've got a feeling that EA will stick him around that mark. With Reading, there were quite a few options to go for. They had a bit of a weird season last time out where they came good at the second half of it. The first half of the season, they weren't too good. So I'm interested to see what EA do with their ratings. For me, I've gone for Raphael, their new goalkeeper, and Matt Miazga, both rated as 74 as their highest rated players. I think that Liam Moore last season was a gold card. I'm expecting him to possibly get a downgrade. I think Miazga is probably the best centre-back at the club now, and I think that that rating should reflect it. Blackburn Rovers, I've gone for Bradley Dack as their highest rated player, probably quite obviously. I think he's deserved an upgrade from last year after scoring 15 goals from midfield. He's one of the players who I think is verging on a gold card. He's between that 74 and 75 mark. Let me know down below what you guys would rate Bradley Dack. As their second highest rated player, I've gone for Greg Cunningham, but there were a few other options in there. The likes of Danny Graham and Darrell Lenihan could have also made the grade. West Brom went for Kravinovic and Charlie Austin. I think that West Brom are one of those clubs who could have a few gold cards this year. But Kravinovic in there, already someone who I've liked the look of at West Brom. I think that as the season does go on to develop, could be, you know, one of those technical players who really goes on to thrive this season, especially with some of the other players he's got around him. One of those, of course, being Charlie Austin. Charlie Austin, provided that he does manage to stay fit, could be in for a decent season. I think that they'll both be gold cards. Stoke City was a tough one to do. Jack Borland, he will be their highest rated player. I put him as a 79. He has been absolutely awful this year, and judging by these performances lately, he doesn't deserve to be a gold card, but he will be in FIFA 20. And in fairness to Borland, he's been getting a lot of stick recently. Last season, I didn't think he was actually that bad. I actually thought he dug Stoke out quite a bit last season, but playing in the championship and with how his career's been going lately, I don't think it would be justifiable for him to still be over there at 80 rated. And I can see them maybe bumping him down to around about a 79. For their second highest rated player, I went for Joe Allen, although I'm still not too convinced about that. He was a gold card last year. I think he'll be downgraded to a silver this time. Joe Allen's another funny player whose career seems to have gone downhill recently. Brentford have gone for Pontus Jansson and Said Benrahma. A few Brentford players could make it into this one, especially with some of the new additions that they have made throughout the summer. But Pontus Jansson, I think, will still be a gold centre-back. He was good at Leeds last season. I see no reason why he'll be downgraded. For their second highest rated player, Benrahma's certainly due for an upgrade. He was only 68 rated on last year's FIFA and put in some absolutely unbelievable performances last season. Got into double figures for both goals and assists, and is sort of in that Bradley Dack category where he's a silver card who's verging on gold in my view. Cardiff City, I've gone for Neil Etheridge and Aidan Flint. I think that Etheridge, probably one of the best goalkeepers in the championship. It's a shame that he picked up an injury on the opening day against Wigan. I bumped him up to a 76. Last season he was only a silver, but after consistent performances in the Premier League, I think that it would be fair to bump Etheridge up. For their second highest rated player, I've gone for Aidan Flint, although there's a few Cardiff players who could make it in there. For Wigan Athletic, I went for Jamal Lowe and Kiefer Moore. I don't really think that they'll have sort of a standout player this season in FIFA. Wigan, who's going to be really high rated. I just think they'll have a lot of people who are around that 70 mark. So the two that I've thrown in are 2 new signings in Jamal Lowe and Kiefer Moore. 2 people who really impressed in League One last season, and 2 people who the majority of Wigan fans will be hoping to have an impact on this season. It's been a bit of a slow start for Wigan to the season, but they'll be 2 players who Wigan are hoping they'll have big years. Huddersfield, I went for Schindler and Kongolo. I think that there has been quite a bit of doom and gloom going around Huddersfield, but due to the way that they have started this season, season out, but maybe a bit of positivity that they can have is the fact that they managed to keep hold of these two players throughout the European transfer window, because despite the season they had last time out, I still do think they've got two good players there. Colin Grant's another one, but I'm not sure how much EA will actually bump his rating up by. I think he was a bronze card last season. Sheffield Wednesday, I went for Adam Reach and Barry Bannon. Wednesday fans, I'd be interested to know from you guys, who do you rate higher out of these two? I think that there's a bit of a debate going on, and it's hard to split them. I think they both bring different qualities into the side. For me personally, I've given them both a 74 rating. I think Wednesday will have a few people that are just below that as well, at the 73 and 72 mark. Charlton, I've gone for Lyle Taylor and Johnny Williams. Another one quite similar to Luton Town. You never really quite know how EA are going to rate players coming up to the Championship from League One, but I'd expect those two to be the highest rated players. Whether those ratings are correct or not, we'll wait and see. Lyle Taylor's already looked like a bit of a baller in the league so far, and Johnny Williams are highly rated. You know, he's played at this level before. I expect them both to be around that 70 mark. Middlesbrough went for Darren Randolph and Johnny Howson. Randolph, I think, has deserved that upgrade to a gold card. I think that being silver last year was quite underrated, Randolph, actually, for the goalkeeper that he is. I think being one of the most consistent goalkeepers in the Championship for the past couple of seasons now, he's more than deserving of that upgrade. And for their second highest rated player, I went for Johnny Howson, who I've given an upgrade to a 74. Maybe a little bit underrated in terms of Championship midfielders, but I think all the Borough fans know the quality that Howson possesses, and his rating should probably reflect that. Birmingham went for Djukovic and Pedersen. I think that last year's FIFA, Djukovic was only 68 rated, I want to say. I think he's due quite the upgrade from last season, and overall he was just criminally underrated on last year's FIFA. But their second highest rated player, I wasn't really sure who to go with. Birmingham fans, who would you put? Let me know down below. I went for Pedersen. At around that mark, I think that Birmingham will have a few players. Hull City is going to come as no surprise, but Bowen and Grosicki as their top two. I think Jared Bowen should be a gold card. I think it would be doing him quite the disservice if he was to be silver again this year. After scoring 20 goals from the wing, you don't see that very often in the Championship. I think that last season Bowen was only 68 rated or 69 rated. Really way too low. In terms of a goal-scoring winger who cuts inside from that right-hand side, I don't think there's many better in this league at the moment. And Grosicki for the number two, really quality player. Holding well to keep hold of both of them, but I expect them both to have a decent rating on this year's FIFA. Swansea City, I went for Andre Ayew and Borja Baston. Who will be the higher rated player? I've gone for Ayew because he was higher rated on last year's FIFA. I think that Baston will probably stay the same at 75, so I'll put Ayew as a 76. These are the two players who could have a monumental impact on Swansea's season this time around. They did well to keep hold of one of them, let alone both of them. I think probably rightly so they will both be gold cards. QPR was a bit of a difficult one to come up with. I've gone for Jordan Hugill and Jeff Cameron based off of last year's ratings. I think that these two will probably be up there as some of their highest rated players. Eze's one that I think will probably be around the 70 mark, as he's still quite a young player, and last year was his first real breakthrough year. Hugill obviously has started out absolutely excellently, but I think he'll sort of regain the same rating he had last season. It was a bit of an indifferent time he had at Borough. And then there's a couple others who I think will be around that 72 mark at QPR. Leeds United, I've gone for their duo Pablo Hernandez and Calvin Phillips. Now last season Leeds' highest rated player was Kiko Casilla. Realistically, is he still going to be a gold card? I've got to feel like a bit of a downgrade has to be coming his way, because I don't think he's really worthy of that. And I think their two highest rated players should be Hernandez and Calvin Phillips. I've got a feeling that EA will slightly put Hernandez above of Phillips, as they tend to favour more attacking players, especially in the Championship. But Pablo Hernandez definitely deserving of that upgrade from silver to gold. He was only 73 rated last year. As one of the best in the league, his rating should reflect that, and I think around the 76 would be about right. And then for Calvin Phillips, also probably deserves that upgrade from silver to gold as well, with his progression he showed last season under Bielsa. Leeds fans, let me know down below if you think those ratings would be fair. Going off the database at the end of FIFA 19, Adam Nagy of Bristol City is looking like he'll probably be a gold card in FIFA 20, and I put him with Thomas Callas as the second highest rated player. Obviously Bristol City fans very excited about some of the new acquisitions that they brought in. Their midfield already looking quite good. I think when everyone is fully fit in that Bristol City midfield, it could be quite an exciting watch for this one. You know, another honourable mention in there will be Josh Brownhill. Derby's highest rated player, of course, it's going to be Wayne Rooney. I've decided to go for an 80, the same rating that he had on FIFA 19. He's having a fairly decent season with DC United at the moment, and of course that's what EA are going to base his rating off. In terms of getting goals and assists, the sort of player that Derby are maybe lacking at the moment, you know, I think that Rooney's probably going to come into Derby and play midfield for them. They're lacking creativity there at the moment, so they're just waiting for Rooney to actually get through the door in January. But their second highest rated player, I wasn't really sure who to go for. Is Curtis Davis still going to be as highly rated as he was last year? I'm not sure. With Forest, I've gone for Alpha Semedo and Joe Lolly. Alpha Semedo probably will still be a gold card, obviously on loan from Benfica at the moment. And then Joe Lolly is another one of those players who falls into the sort of Bradley Dack and Ben Rama category of a silver who could be gold. What should Joe Lolly be rated on FIFA 20, let me know down below. He was absolutely brilliant for Forest last season. I love watching him play. Got a similar play style to someone like Jared Bowen, who likes to cut inside from the right hand side, but I think he'll be around that mark. I think he was 70 rated last year, definitely due an upgrade. For Barnsley, I went for Moat and Woodrow, both giving them 70 ratings. I think that on last year's FIFA, Moat was a left mid. I'm sure he'll be moved to a centre mid in this year's FIFA, and deservedly is due an upgrade, as is Coley Woodrow, who was absolutely excellent for Barnsley in League One last season, where his goals were pivotal in them clinching promotion. Millwall, I decided to go for Cooper and Wallace. I think that Cooper's probably due an upgrade as just a dominating force at the back for Millwall, and on his day is probably one of the best centre-backs in the league. And then for Millwall's second highest rated player, I think they'll have a few players around that 71-72 mark. I went for Joe Wallace, someone who always catches my eye whenever we play Millwall. But guys, there you have it. There was every championship club and who I think is going to be the top 2 rated players for them on FIFA 20. So do you agree? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think will be a fair rating for some of your guys' top players? I'm hoping that EA get it right, but they always drop a couple of clangers in there with some awful, just bizarre ratings sometimes. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when the official ratings do come out. But if you did go on to enjoy, make sure you leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. Make sure you subscribe for a bit of regular championship content. But apart from that, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.